Jack London, The Call of the Wild. Embark on a breathtaking journey of survival and self-discovery with Buck, a 4-year-old mongrel who is torn from his idyllic life on a Californian farm and thrust into the brutal world of sled dogs. The Call of the Wild by Jack London captures Buck's transformation as he learns to adapt to his harsh new environment, tapping into his ancestral instincts along the way. Experience Buck's harrowing adventures as he journeys through the unforgiving wilderness, encounters various characters, befriends other sled dogs, and ultimately realizes his destiny in the wild under the reign of primitive law.
Buck's Wild Journey. In the 19th century, Buck, a proud and independent mongrel, lives on a farm in California. He spends his days playing with children and accompanying the older ones on hunts. Despite being domesticated, Buck remains wild at heart. He feels superior to the other dogs on the farm and refuses to be a mere house pet. Follow Buck as he embarks on a perilous adventure, discovering his true nature and fighting to survive in the harshness of the Alaskan wilderness. The brutal journey of Buck. Manuel, the judge's gardener, needs money to settle his gambling debts and sells Buck to a stranger. Buck tries to fight back but is eventually taken as a captive in a crate during a train journey. A man in a red jumper takes him for a sled dog and breaks Buck's wild spirit with a club. Buck submits but refuses to seek favor from him. He is then sold to sled drivers and starts his new brutal journey. Buck learns the law. Buck, a kidnapped dog, is sold to a man in a red jumper who beats him with a club and introduces him to the law of the wild. Buck learns that the man with the club is his master, but he refuses to gain favor with his oppressor. After being sold to sled drivers Perrault and Francois along with another dog, Curly, Buck joins their team of sled dogs. Buck's quest for survival. Buck, a domesticated dog, experiences snow for the first time on a ship traveling north with other dogs. His arrival at Dyea Beach opens his eyes to the brutal reality of the wild. His teammate Curly is attacked and killed by a husky, teaching Buck to keep a low profile and mistrust his lead dog, Spitz. Francois puts Buck in a harness with other dogs, and he quickly learns to pull the sled as a team. Buck's muscles and instincts adapt to his new environment, and he discovers that survival in the wild requires burying himself in the snow to keep warm and eating his ration quickly to avoid theft. Despite the humiliation of being used as a common draft animal, Buck survives by relying on the deeply buried inheritance of his ancestors. Rivalry in the cold. Spitz and Buck's growing animosity reaches a boiling point in the midst of a brutal fight for survival against a pack of wild huskies. Spitz considers Buck a threat and constantly harasses him, but Buck tries to avoid confrontation. However, when Spitz takes Buck's sleeping hole, Buck attacks him. Their fight is interrupted by the arrival of a pack of starved huskies who attack the sled dogs. In the midst of the chaos, Spitz continues to target Buck. Despite managing to drive off the huskies, the dogs are injured and have lost half of their supplies. Buck's rise to leadership. After Dolly's sudden madness and death, Buck engages in a power struggle with Spitz. Buck never directly opposes Spitz but subtly undermines his leadership. The team makes it to Dawson uneventfully, but discipline falls apart on the way back due to Spitz and Buck's constant fight for dominance. Buck finally gains an opportunity to challenge Spitz after he kills a rabbit. Their fight ends with Buck breaking Spitz's legs and becoming the new leader. Buck's rise to leadership. Buck proves himself as an exceptional leader of the sled team in the book, The Call of the Wild, by Jack London. After Spitz's defeat, Buck sets his sights on becoming the new leader, but Perrault and Francois choose Sol Lek instead. Buck resists being harnessed until the handlers finally concede. Buck becomes an even better leader than Spitz, and discipline is restored. The team is sold to a Scottish half-breed who transports mail between Skagway and Dawson. Under Buck's leadership, the team manages the heavier load. Buck has visions of a primeval man throughout the journey. A tragic fate for the sled dogs. The sled dogs are pushed to their limits as they transport mail through the unforgiving Alaskan terrain. Dave, one of the dogs, suffers from a mysterious ailment that weakens him. Despite their attempts to let him rest, Dave refuses to leave his place as lead sled dog. When he becomes too weak to continue, one of the handlers shoots him. The remaining dogs are sold to unprepared adventurers who mistreat them, overburdening them with a poorly packed sled and refusing them proper sustenance. The dogs grow weaker and weaker, and some ultimately starve to death. The story is a heartbreaking exploration of the all-too-common mistreatment of animals, and the consequences that result when we fail to show them the care and respect they deserve. A fatal journey. Despite experienced advice against journeying in the melting spring ice, a team of adventurers, led by Hal, Charles, and Mercedes, push on and resort to beating and abusing their sled dogs. When they arrive at John Thornton's camp, Buck, who refuses to move, is the only dog with any strength left. John separates Buck from the pack, and the team continues without him. Tragically, the ice beneath them gives way, and the team drowns in the river while Buck watches. The lesson here is to listen to those with experience and not abuse those in our care. Buck's devotion. John cares for Buck and nurses him back to health, along with his other two dogs, Skeet and Nigeria. Buck reciprocates by showering John with an unprecedented love and devotion. John and Buck develop unique ways of showing their affection, including shaking Buck's head and biting John's hand. Buck's love for John is put to the test when John orders him to jump off a cliff, and Buck willingly prepares to jump, demonstrating his unwavering devotion. Buck, the magnificent dog. Buck continues to impress as one of the best sled dogs, known for his loyalty and strength. When his owner John is attacked, Buck defends him, becoming legendary. When John falls into a river, Buck jumps in after him, risking his own life to save him. Buck's devotion inspires a wager for $2,000 that he can break free and pull a 1,000-pound sled for 100 yards, a bet which Buck wins. John and his partners are astounded by Buck's strength and loyalty. The money won from the bet allows John to fulfill his dream of finding a mine with unimaginable riches. Buck cements his reputation as a magnificent dog, marching out of camp with his head held high, admired by all who know him. The Call of the Forest. John and his companions embark on a year-long journey to find a legendary mine, but fail. Instead, they strike abundant gold at a camp in Yukon. They hunt and fill their bags with gold while their dogs enjoy a life of leisure. Buck becomes increasingly restless and feels a mysterious call to explore the forest. He hears a strange howl and follows it, only to meet an old wolf. The two venture together, but Buck's love for John compels him to return to the camp. Buck's natural instincts. As Buck spends more time in the wilderness, he becomes a skilled hunter with a thirst for greater prey. From hunting small animals to taking on a lead bull in a herd of elk, Buck's natural instincts and cunning make him a formidable predator. Buck's vengeance. After returning from the kill, Buck discovers all the other dogs dead. He finds a group of Indians who have killed them and then discovers his beloved master's body, leading to Buck attacking and killing each Indian. Though mourning, Buck's triumph over man is evident. Buck's Call of the Wild. Drawn by the howling of wolves, Buck abandons the world of man and confronts a pack of wolves. He faces them with confidence and emerges victorious, even when the whole pack attacks. The old wolf, his former companion, welcomes him, and Buck is embraced as part of the pack.
As Buck's vivid tale of survival comes to an end, we witness his metamorphosis from a domesticated dog into a fierce creature driven by his primitive instincts. Through his trials and tribulations, Buck unearths the strength and resilience buried within him, and ultimately embraces his destiny as a true animal of the wild. This story of adventure, loyalty, loss, and triumph serves as a powerful reminder of the inexorable pull of our ancestral roots and the undeniable bond between man and nature. The Call of the Wild is an unforgettable journey that will stay with you long after you've turned the final page.